Hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in to Audio Unicorn. Now, at the time of recording, I am just getting ready to go to San Diego. But when you are actually seeing this video or listening as a podcast, I'm already there. So if you are in San Diego and if you are visiting social media marketing world, or maybe you are based in San Diego and wanted to meet, let me know. I'm there for the whole week and would love to meet with as many people as I can. I'm super, super excited. Now, today I would like to talk about the importance of user experience and kind of overall branding. This is something that just came to my mind in a way after seeing the conversation in one of the Facebook groups I'm a member of about different podcast hosts, and just seeing what's happening in that space at the moment is kind of a very important reminder about the importance of that user experience and branding in any other place and industry. This will apply to you if you have a podcast or if you have a radio station or just a business in general and you have other competitors around. So one thing that I've noticed, and I mean, it doesn't take a scientific degree to figure it out, that there are so many different podcast hosts, and some of them, look very sleek and brand new and kind of exciting. It's so easy to post anything and upload a new episode, yet others have amazing functionality. They've been around for a very long time, but what really sort of brings them down is that lack of user experience and good user experience, let's just say, or lack of kind of inviting visuals. Some of them feel sadly like, they have been developed years and years ago, but not much has changed in terms of visuals and kind of general look and feel. And it is so important that we catch up. I don't want to really kind of give the specific examples. I don't feel it's particularly fair, as I really like a lot of different podcast hosts, and I don't want anybody to feel like I'm slagging one off and praising another one out or singling it out from the others. The kind of consensus of the conversation that I've been part of online was that whilst, there are so many different podcast hosts, obviously there won't be one podcast host that's so amazing and you should definitely go with it because it's amazing for everyone. You need to find a podcast host that's good for you. But that's beyond the point for this conversation. What is really important here is the fact that sadly, some companies are not moving with the times. The web experience has dramatically evolved over the last decade. If you think about how things have changed in 2009, what kind of looked cool and what didn't. And we are in 2019 now. Things have simply evolved, and it's so important that if you do have a business, if you do have a podcast or a radio station, you evolve with times too, because what's going to happen otherwise is a new competitor will come onto the market, and you've done all the amazing work and you've put kind of like a grounding into the niche or business you are in, and somebody comes in and it's kind of like whoosh, out of nowhere, and takes a ton of customers away from you. A ton of new customers come there, and you're just left thinking like, what just happened? Like, how did that happen? Well, why did I not see this coming? Yet, in most cases, you kind of can see it coming. And one thing that, for me personally, and for us here at Music Radio Creative, is a kind of constant reminder, is if we sit on our website for 2 years and no major changes happened to the visual, to the look, the user experience, we know that it's time to start something new. We know it's time to update. So just as of now, our website is nearly 2 years old. And we are already sitting here and planning the next website. Now, obviously the investment is in small, but we've seen in the past that it pays off to be on top of that, to be on top of the trends. And the key is really to be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve, to be the innovator, to be kind of new and fresh and current. This is the key. It needs to be current, because in the world we live in, the digital age we are in, I mean, 2 years, it's old. It's like, you are a veteran in some cases. And, just the key important lesson here is don't stop. If you think you have something great, if you think you've built something amazing, don't sit on your laurels. You have to keep moving. You have to keep thinking ahead of yourself. So if you have just finished major redevelopment, update, you have to start thinking of what's next. Because if you won't come up with what's next, somebody else will. And another key important message here is to actually listen to the audience, listen to your user base, listen to the users, the customers, the fans, and take their feedback on board, because that feedback is all that matters. And it's so easy to sit back and think, yeah, we've got it great. Look, it's fantastic. It's got everything you need. And you forget about a key thing. It's like, did your customer say that, or is it you saying it? You have to have your customers actually saying the same thing and repeating it. If they don't, then you haven't got this quite right. And it will be just so easy to kind of fall out of the line, so to speak. So yes, I mean, obviously the conversation and this topic, this episode is inspired entirely by what is happening at the moment with the podcast hosting companies. But I think that this can be applied to pretty much any industry, and it's important to not to sleep. It's important not to sit back and just count the profits and say, hey, yay, this is great. It's important to actually take part of what you earn and already start investing it into the future. Because the moment you go to sleep, the today is gone and you are already in the future. So how can you stop? How can you stop thinking about tomorrow? You can't. I know this is going a little bit deep in here, but I think it's one of the most important business lessons I've learned so far, and I still haven't got it right all of the time, and it is difficult to get it right all of the time, but I suggest that you kind of at least question yourself and allow that questioning to go deeper than you feel comfortable, because if you reach the conclusion that something isn't quite right, it's time to look into it. And so I really hope this helps you. And one of the main things that I would suggest doing if you are in that kind of, if you are stuck and you want to know what to do next, get a small group of people who are either your users or know something about your industry. They might be in a complementary position to your specific business or niche, and just ask them for feedback and opinion. I'm sure that between everyone you could gather at least 5 people and just ask them for a quick 10-minute call with you. It doesn't cost much, and if you can gather honest opinions, remember, you are after honest people. You're after people who are not going to have an interest to give you lots of compliments just to stay on your right side. You need the kind of person that's going to look you in the eye and say, hey, this isn't looking good. You should be improving that. So it's one of my pitfalls as well as the good things. I cannot not be honest. So you need kind of people like that. You need people who are brutally honest, even if it could hurt. So yes. So look for those people, and I wish you best of luck. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are in San Diego, I do hope to see you there. Bye.